You could save a life. It could happen anywhere at any time. Someone falls to the ground in apparent cardiac arrest and needs CPR. Two new studies say skipping the mouth-to-mouth part may be helpful in saving lives. Josh Levs is here with an expert who's going to talk us through it. Josh?
Yeah, I'm here with Ben Karp, who's the founder and president of Georgia CPR. He's actually going to talk to us about what these new rules are on CPR, because it could happen to any one of us, as you were just saying, any day. And we have the help of course, what you need when you're learning CPR, a dummy. And this one is really cool because it has lights that tell you if you're doing it right. So, Ben, thanks for being here.
Thank you very much for having me.
All right, so let's first talk quickly about this study so we understand. The idea here is that what these two new studies saying is that sometimes if you are skipping the mouth-to-mouth resuscitation, the numbers are showing you probably have just as good a chance of saving a life.
Yeah, the studies suggest that it's all about the compressions.
Okay.
It's all about the compressions. If you're uncomfortable doing the breaths, do the compressions only. If you witness an adult collapse, immediately call 911 and start pushing on the chest hard and fast.
That's about the compressions. All right, now there are some exceptions. We'll talk about that if it's a child drowning victim. Let's get right to this dummy, because I want you to teach me how to do this right.
Okay, absolutely. So
we're going to get down the full. One thing that I find interesting is that you're actually aiming for the sternum, right? You're not trying to figure out where the heart is, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You're gonna trace a line between the nipples, put the heel of your palm. Go ahead, you can take your right hand, whichever hand you like.
Okay, so I'll use my right hand here, right in the middle of the chest, right?
Absolutely. Now take your other hand, interlace your fingers.
Okay.
Pull your
fingers.
fingers. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
And don't be too shy. They're not going to hurt you. Okay, lock your elbows.
Lock my elbows.
And let's scoot up here, shoulders directly over your hands.
Directly over my hands, like this.
Lock your elbows.
So because the idea here is you want to give it as much vertical downward pressure as you possibly can,
Absolutely.
right?
You want to use your weight to do the work.
Okay, and then there's a certain rhythm you're supposed to do.
Absolutely.
Which is staying alive.
Staying
Cue
alive.
the music. All right, and now I understand you're supposed to go.
Absolutely, but we're going to have to do it a lot harder. That's the key. So you're going to see the lights
way
light
hard
up.
down. So you're not supposed to be worried breaking a rib cage, hurting something.
Right.
So give it all the pressure you got?
Yeah. Here we go. Boom.
Oh, every beat?
Absolutely. Every beat. See how fast?
Okay, now in real life,
a little
you wouldn't have the
faster, a
music
little
playing,
faster.
So let's drop it. You just keep it in your mind.
Correct. Faster, harder.
Boom.
There you go.
Wow, okay, so now how do I know if I'm doing it right? What will he do?
Well, the person's not going to do anything. Unfortunately, CPR is a holding pattern until we get a defibrillator on the scene. In this particular mannequin, you're going to get 2 green lights if you're pushing hard enough and fast enough. So that's the important thing about the training.
All right, now traditionally, I mean, when I was growing up, I first learned CPR. The idea was that you do a certain number of these and then you go switch to breaths. If we're talking about doing compressions only, what do you look for? How do you know if it's even helping? Will an eye open? Will something move? Will you feel something? Will it be breath?
Probably nothing, unfortunately. Without a defibrillator, what we're trying to do is keep the brain alive. We're priming the heart for the shock of the defibrillator. This is really important, but not in the way it's portrayed on TV. We're not going to see anything going on. So once you start, the really important thing, once you start pushing on the chest, don't stop until they say, ouch, get off of me.
Really?
Show an obvious sign of recovery.
You mean just keep doing this continuously?
Keep doing it. There's no break.
I'm going to keep doing it so people are seeing it. And I'm going to show you all afterwards where you can see this yourself. So the idea is
faster,
boom, boom.
faster.
And I heard, and apparently our Elizabeth Cohen with our medical unit, she told me you can also do it to the beat of Another One Bites the Dust, which is an ironic title.
You probably don't want to sing that out loud in an emergency.
Right. It's the last thing that anyone wants to hear. Okay, so the idea is you're giving it all the pressure, vertical pressure you can. You want to get it moving again. And statistically now what we're seeing is that even if without the mouth-to-mouth, you still have as good a shot in many cases. But there are exceptions. Let's talk about those, because I don't want to leave it hanging. This is always best.
Sure.
If it's a child, right, if it's a drowning victim, tell me these exceptions.
Okay, so if it's a child, a drowning victim, choking, asthma, the key to the hands-on is if you witness an adult collapse, the hands-on is really for that. Or if you're really unsure about the breaths, the hands-on are way better than doing nothing at all.
What if you don't witness it? What if, you hear you're in a restaurant, someone screams, does anyone know CPR? You come running, the person's already on the ground. You don't know if they're asthmatic, you don't know if they got something in the wind, but you don't know everything that happened. Should you still do, in your view, should you still be doing mouth-to-mouth?
Right, and it's not my view. According to the American Heart Association, if you're trained and you're okay, you're confident on the breaths, go ahead and do the breaths.
Okay.
If you're not, if you're unsure, apprehensive, like a lot of us are, which is fair, just do the compressions only.
Okay, well, I'm doing my best here. You're the expert. So before we go, I want all of our viewers to see you do it as well as possible. You get in position. Just going to give it all the vertical pressure he can.
Absolutely.
All right, hands interlocked. Boom, go. Okay. And Woman's man. No time to talk. All right, I can feel the beat right there.
Okay, you got it.
Right, now I want all of you to know you can actually get a step-by-step guide to how to do what he's doing. It's all up at cnnhealth.com. And seriously, there's the possibility, we know, as we talk to you all right now, one of you might be seeing this, might learn it, might ultimately save a life in the end. That is the goal. Thank you so much, Ben Karp.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you having me.
All right, Randy, back to you.
Josh and the Bee Gees saving lives. I love it.
I love that song.
Love that. That's great. Nicely done. We are still awaiting the press conference with Doug Suttles, BP COO. It was supposed to happen